October 8th, 2021 is the day that I was defeated by the Nintendo Switch OLED model. I thought maybe it would be simple to get. There's no reason to upgrade really if you already have a Switch. Wrong. It's sold out pretty much instantly. None in the stores, none online, but on my conquest, I discovered another OLED that was actually better for me to get. And that's this. This is just a regular old OLED TV. So let's just go ahead together as a people and check it out. So I'm here today to talk about my kind of new OLED TV purchase. So if you followed me for a while, I've mentioned briefly, but I already had an OLED TV. It was a 2016 model. I believe it was a C9. It was like a 55-inch curved one. And it's been great for the last 4.5 years. But there were some limitations and drawbacks. Mainly I was frustrated because it didn't do Dolby Vision at 60 Hertz, which caused a lot of issues with media players like the Apple TV and even the NVIDIA Shield that we have connected now. Those media players prefer to do menus at the highest frame rate that's available for HDR, which on that TV was HDR10 at 60 Hertz, and Dolby Vision only did 30 Hertz. And I wanted Dolby Vision because I prefer to watch content in Dolby Vision, so the menus were just super slow. And then if there was an interruption in the stream and it had to come back up, it caused the TV to like cut out and then it would go into this blurry static thing. So I needed a new TV for a while. So while I was looking for the Switch OLED, I was like, you know what, let me look at TVs. And I happened to find this one. This is the LG BX series from last year, a 55-inch, again, like my previous TV. And the reason I went with this is because it was a pretty good price. I got it for $1,000.99. Now, I don't know why the 99 cents was up there. Like, I just felt like someone was like, you know what, we're gonna get an extra $1 out of this person, so they made it $1,000.99. I also had a $10 off reward certificate at Best Buy, so that technically made it $990.99. I don't know what the 99 cents thing was about, but there's a lot of reasons I wanted this TV aside from what I mentioned earlier with the Dolby Vision 60 Hertz thing. These models from last year, they have two HDMI 2.1 ports. And the reason that's important to me is because I keep my Xbox Series X down here. And I haven't really played it as much because that TV was very frustrating to use, my old TV. So this TV not only does 120 Hertz for gaming, it also supports VRR, our variable refresh rate, up to 120 Hertz for gaming. Not only does this on two HDMI ports, which is 3 and 4, because they're the two HDMI 2.1 ports. I have to use one for my receiver for Dolby Atmos because one of them is for eARC and you have to use eARC in order to get Atmos on inputs that are connected directly to the TV. So I only have one HDMI input open that's capable of doing this, which is fine because the Xbox is connected to it and the PS5 is upstairs on a different TV. But that was the main reason for me wanting to upgrade, aside from the frustrations that I mentioned earlier. Now, I did get this TV open box, and one of the things that was frustrating about it was I purchased it online and picked it up at the store, because technically it's sold out because the new ones aren't available anymore. The replacement model, the B1, is technically available, but I believe it's only for sale directly through LG, and the price was like $1,700 for the 55-inch. So I definitely was like, I'm just gonna go and get this open box one for $700 less, especially because this model is very similar to the current model. It was listed as open box excellent on a Best Buy site, which means there's no accessories missing. It's pretty much in brand new condition, blah, blah, blah. So there's two issues with that. For one, they didn't even have the original box. They actually put it in the C1 box, which isn't a big deal. But two, on the sticker, it was missing the remote, which this TV is almost impossible to set up without the remote. Even if you try to use a mouse, because LG has this pointer type interface with the remotes, it doesn't work. And on top of that, I still have the remote from our old TV, which was also an LG OLED, and the remote looks exactly the same as the one for this TV, but it doesn't work. Like if you pair it, it just says it's not supported, and it'll let you use the arrow keys, but if you hit select on anything, it'll just say not supported. Very stupid. Luckily for me, I still have my old Logitech Harmony Hub around, so I was able to pair this with my Harmony Hub and then use my phone as a remote to set it up. So after that, we were able to use LG's remote app for iPhone, which works off of Wi-Fi. And it wasn't a big deal. I actually ordered a remote off of Amazon for $36. That's supposed to be compatible with this TV, so that should be here in a few days. But yeah, frustrating experience. I actually am gonna go to Best Buy and get a partial refund because technically I would consider this to be open box fair condition since it didn't come with all of the included accessories like excellent condition is listed. So the price should have been around $935.99. I believe that's the price for the open box fair. But aside from that, the TV was overall in excellent condition. Now, the risk, of course, is that this could have been like a floor model, so it could have been used extensively for months or even like almost a year at this point, so you don't really know the history of it, but I was willing to take the risk for the discount that I got. There is one comparable TV for around this price, and that's Vizio set, which also does 120 hertz at 4K, and that's $1,200 new. But the reason I didn't get it was because I heard that it has a lot of software issues. I actually know somebody that bought one, and they complained about the software issues. Two, the colors aren't as good as this model, and it doesn't do variable refresh rate. It does 120 hertz at 4K, but variable refresh rate is actually kind of more important than that because it matches the frame rate of the game with the frame rate of the TV. So being locked at 120 is great. You probably won't see any tearing, but it won't be as smooth of an experience if the TV's frame rate isn't synced exactly with your console or your PC, because this also is G-Sync compatible. Of course, you do have to have a 30 series graphics card in order to use this with a PC. If you're on the NVIDIA side, on the AMD side, you can pretty much use any graphics card and take advantage of it because their variable refresh rate technology has always worked over HDMI, whereas NVIDIA, theirs only worked over DisplayPort until the 30 series graphics card, which feature an HDMI 2.1 port, which has enough throughput to allow G-Sync to work over HDMI. So whenever I do finally get my hand on a 30 series graphics card, or perhaps a 40 series graphics card at this point, I can actually use this TV and play PC games at high refresh rates. But with that being said, the minimum frame rate that this TV supports for variable refresh rate is 40 frames per second. So like if you're playing, I don't know, an Xbox One game or an Xbox Series game and you're in visual mode instead of performance mode and it's only running at 30, then you won't be able to take advantage of that technology. So you might still see some frame drops and tearing, etc. on lower frame rates or stuttering. Whereas like if you're playing in performance mode, which is typically 60, you'll still be able to take advantage of it. So even if the game's not pushing 120 hertz or 120 frames, then you'll still have the advantage of having that variable refresh rate. So since I got this, I wanted to try at least one game that runs at 120. So I downloaded Halo Master Chief Collection because that can go up to 120 frames in single player and in multiplayer. Something like Gears 5, I believe, runs at 60 in the campaign and then up to 120 in multiplayer. So I really didn't feel like going online and getting destroyed, so I wanted to have an enjoyable experience. So I've been playing a little bit of Halo 4 on the Xbox Series X, and it's kind of amazing. I mean, I've already been playing at higher refresh rates on my PC. I have a monitor that does up to 165 hertz right now, that's 1440p. But just being able to kick back on the couch and play games at a high refresh rate on an Xbox on a way bigger screen with this contrast ratio and the colors, it's pretty cool. Like, there's really nothing that compares to it. Going back to 60 hertz just kind of feels weird. I tried to record the difference. It might be a little bit difficult to see. I recorded it in slow motion, so you could kind of see the difference between the 120 mode and the 60 hertz mode. But yeah, I'm really blown away by this TV so far. And also, before I finish this video, this really has nothing to do with me buying the Switch OLED. I just happened to notice that this TV was on sale. There's one available in my area, and it was a really good price, so I got it. But I was looking because I was actually looking for the Switch OLED. So I really didn't buy this over the Switch OLED. I had been looking for an upgrade for a while, and I saw this at a really good price. So that was actually the reason I got the TV. Plus, having this Xbox here, I wanted to be able to take advantage of its capabilities. And I could always move the PS5 down here as well if I want to try that and see how the 120 mode is on there. So overall, if you are looking for like a deal on the TV, usually when they change over models like this, like start bringing out new models, a lot of the sites will have them discounted and you can probably find a good deal on it. I think even new, this was only $1,300, which considering that the equivalent model right now is $1,700, the B1 series, this is a pretty good deal, even at $1,300. It's sold out at Best Buy now unless there's one available locally, which is what happened with me. There was one at the store right down the street from my house, open box. But yeah, this experience has been really cool so far. I'm really starting to dive into the Xbox a little bit more, especially now that I got this TV. So I do plan on doing an Xbox review soon. It probably will not be before Halo Infinite comes out though. So stay tuned for that. And I will be back on Sunday as usual for more tech and or gaming news, probably gaming news to be honest with you. But if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so you can get notified whenever I drop a video. And as usual, remember to do at least 2 things at the same time.